started whenever you're ready, 7:02.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order for the Planning Board of March 8th, 2021. And could we do a quick quorum check? Everybody call out their name or something? I can't see everybody, so.
Matt's here.
Matt,
Amanda.
Amy Cohen.
okay,
Wells.
okay. That's it. So I'm Lyle, so I'm 5, right?
And then John and Andy are here.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, let's see, the first thing up is approved minutes from the February 22nd, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Anybody know? Do I have a motion to approve meeting minutes for February 22nd?
Can't
Matt, is that a
Anyone?
motion?
Yeah, so moved.
You guys have to speak because Lyle can't see you.
Right. Sorry.
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion?
Yes.
All in favor? Oh,
wait,
sorry, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I would like to request that the ENCB comments, the statements, if they're not summarized in the minutes, that at least they're attached to the
Yeah, I can
minutes.
do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, with that being done, are the meeting minutes acceptable? Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
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 I can't see, so I'm going to take that. Any nays? I'm going to take that as a pass then. Okay, let me see what the next thing is up here on the meeting.
Escrow.
We have a escrow account for 525 Albany Post Road. I believe the town has approved that or recommended $4,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Is there any, I guess, let's have a motion to approve that, or if there's any discussion, please speak out,
I
So
moved.
moved.
Okay,
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next bit of business is we have a open escrow account for Rose Lane. Now, I'm not, Adele would know more about this than me. I'm not certain, is this completely closed out, 175 Rose Lane?
Yeah, there's no more invoices. There's actually no money in that account. And then I was explaining to Amanda earlier today. So there is something in the resolution about having escrow related to this project for the wetlands inspector, I think it was, for like regular inspections. But this was an escrow account specifically for planning board review. So another separate escrow account will have to be opened. So you guys can close this one that doesn't have an impact on the condition in the resolution.
Okay, I will make a motion to close this escrow account then. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 So do
Okay,
we need
thank
to
you
then-
very.
Do we need to set a new escrow? I know it has to go to the town board and everything, but
Yeah,
clearly.
not at this meeting. And like Arlene also wasn't quite sure how we're going to go about doing this. So we'll just have to, because I'll probably have to amend the normal escrow paperwork just to reflect the specificity of the situation or something like that. So we'll have to figure out the administrative part of it.
So here's a couple of questions for you. How soon can we do that? And
Yeah.
we know if anything is happening with that project, because the idea was he was supposed to be making weekly assessments and providing regular reports that were then going to be verified once a year by the wetlands inspector. So do we know if anything's happening, or has he?
I haven't heard anything, because usually Stacy would be the next step after approval. So I can just ask Stacy tomorrow to give us an update, or I can work out with her what our next step should be.
Yeah, because then we need to, make sure we get this escrow account set up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, it seems very likely that with snow on the ground that there's not much going on up there and or much that you could see in terms of the wetland inspector.
Right, no, I think it's whether he got started in the fall, whether he planted anything at all. He was supposed to put up, deer fencing and all these kinds of things, so.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I guess we should wait for Stacy to weigh in on that.
So we're gonna request that, Alana?
Yeah, I'll talk to her about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, next order of business, we have a letter from the building inspector and a concurring letter from our engineer recommending simplified site plan approval for an addition to a pre-existing farm stand. This is Mercer. It's on the corner of South Putt and Route 32 South. I accept the letter from the building inspector and the engineer, and I see no reason to not waive site plan approval. Is there, please chime in. Anybody has an opinion?
Two things. One is I think you're supposed to do public comment first. I don't think anybody's here, but I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Two is when I read that, there is a little discrepancy about like we don't know what the water situation is on that site. So we don't know if they need Department of Health approval for septic. We don't know if they have a septic, or I don't know, Andy might know, but I don't know if they have a septic or what they're doing out there right now, but they're putting a kitchen in. So they're going to need some sort of DOH approval, right?
You need water coming in and water going out.
Well, they may have water coming in now. It's just used for cleaning the vegetables.
Yeah,
But
but
now that they're putting in a kitchen, they're going to have a drain system.
right, but they
So
need
And a grease trap.
potable water, not just watering vegetable water. It's got to be humans can drink it water, right?
I don't know what they're doing exactly, but I do know that if they have, they're not saying they're having a bathroom. They're just saying they're having a sink.
My question, there is no bath.
The kitchen without bathroom.
Yeah,
And food prep, I mean,
Uh-huh.
you got to have a place for people to at least wash their hands, if nothing else. Yeah.
The Board of Health is not.
Okay.
So, but even before all this, does anyone know if this guy ever paid all his fees?
I checked that this afternoon, Amanda,
Yeah.
and they said that he did.
Okay.
I did check that. And the other one discrepancy I found in the code, it says that the structure is not enlarged. And this is definitely a big enlargement. So that would be my, that would be a question I have is, are we meeting the code? Is there something in the ag markets that preempts us from even looking at that? Or,
So,
so,
Lyle, this is Andy.
yeah,
So in 51.3A, there's 5 different types of projects that can qualify under this part of the code. And we almost always deal with that, the number 1, the one you're talking about where you can't enlarge. But number 5 is basically an agricultural operation. So this is, even though they're enlarging the building, they wouldn't meet that one, but they do meet number 5 because it's agricultural.
Even though it's
okay,
really-
so, but do they have to meet all 5 of those or not?
No, because like, for example, 2 is a wireless facility. So it's like 3 is a electrical vehicle charging station. So it's, if you meet one of these 5, then you
Okay.
Even
can
though it's
proceed.
an ag use, it's not like he's building a shed to put his tractor in. He's going to have food service. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess, so what do we do about this business about whether there's a Board of Health issue here?
So I think farmers do have to get septic approval. They are exempt from lots of different things, and the kitchen, for example, will be regulated not by the Department of Health, but Ag and Markets. But they're not exempt from septic system approval. So I think if the board wanted to waive site plan approval, I would say just put a condition that they get health department approval of a septic system prior to building permit would be a condition of waiving.
Well, Andy, do we know what they're doing for water out there now? I can't remember. This is a few years ago.
I kind of remember.
I would imagine, sorry, Amy, do you know?
I actually remember because we worked on this for the original farm stand that's now operating. And you guys aren't going to like this, but the water that they have at the farm stand comes through the wetlands, and that's the water. And he told us that. And like everybody was like, what do you mean? But it turns out that because it's Ags and Market and it's a farm, that they're allowed to do that. Now, if they're going to actually have a restaurant and be preparing food and stuff like that, I don't know if they could really use that water for that. I don't think they can. I think it has to actually go through a water system so that people can drink it and wash their hands with it and stuff like that. But I think, I mean, in my opinion, that if we put that health department approval in, we cover ourselves, and it's kind of not really our problem anymore. It's really up to the Board of Health, and I'm sure they know what they're doing. So I would feel personally very comfortable with that.
So I would add to that, approval of not just septic, but of water supply as well, because yes, you're right. They have to drill a well. There's no way, obviously, they're going to use wetland water for this.
Andy, do you remember I'm trying to go back and look at the thing that they sent, the application. Did they say what the kitchen was for? Like, is it, you know what I mean? Like, is it for food prep or is it just for cleaning? Like, does it matter?
I imagine it's food prep. I mean, it's kitchen, cooler, storage. I mean, it looks like they're going to make food, I would imagine.
All right.
I thought
So
they would be serving food, yeah.
So, right. So the question is can we allow approval with conditions or not?
Yes.
We can?
Yes, but I would make it a little more broad. If it was up to me, I would suggest that you would condition it on, I wouldn't say just county board of health approvals. I would say any, state, local, and county approvals that might be necessary, because it seems that there's not an exact answer as to what is going on. And Andy, if he's got to put in a septic system, is this lot, do you think he's got a big enough area for parking and a sewage disposal system, a leach field and everything?
That's a huge lot.
Yeah, I don't see it being an issue. I mean, they just need to go through the right steps, and the same with the well. It shouldn't be an issue.
Well, that's the thing. Can we just go? I hate to delay things, but can we just go back to him and say, listen, you're putting in a kitchen. You don't have all the right pieces of the puzzle to put in a kitchen. Are you sure you want to do this? Like, can we talk to him before we just say, here's approval?
Matt, do you remember what this guy is like?
I don't remember. I wasn't there for this.
Oh, okay.
Let's don't go there. Let's put this off and request him to come and review his application.
Okay.
And not vote on or we can vote it down for simplified site plan approval. I'd rather put it off.
Yeah.
We may still have that opportunity once we have more information.
Yeah, I'd rather talk to the guy first and say, listen, this is what you got to do. Are you doing that?
The other thing I was wondering is with this increased, it's an increased use, but he said he didn't need to increase his parking.
Andy made a note. It seemed like he already has 13 spots and he only needs 9, even with the new structure.
Okay.
John, what would you suggest? As a course of action?
We don't normally review these, so I don't have all of the details on this. So
right.
I'm going to ask Andy a couple of questions, and hopefully he can help me out here. Andy, do you recall, because I think we looked at this once before, is there a default approval provision for simplified site plans? Like if it ends up on the agenda tonight and the board doesn't take an action, does it become automatically approved?
It does in 3 days.
So I think we'd have to address that. So if it has a default approval provision and you guys deny it and he meets all the conditions, then it would become approved by, you guys not acting on it. So I think we would have to take some kind of action of like denying it without prejudice or something where he could just come back and use the same application and answer your actual questions, because you don't feel that his application is complete, so to speak.
Or we could do what Amy said, approve his application for simplified site plan, and then give and say on condition that the Board of Health, state, county.
Yeah.
Or what John said, even broader, that all the,
Absolutely. If you think you have enough information based on what he's given you that, you can approve it with those conditions that he has to get approval or permits or whatever from state, county, and local departments, then yeah, that's fine.
And I'm telling you, this ag thing, and I experienced it a few different times in the town and then again in the village. Things really get approved that in normal retail or restaurant would not. They really want to encourage these ag businesses, and it's very easy to get these things through. So it's really going to come down to the health department in the end anyway. It's not really going to be something that, we're going to change here. And it's really not even a big change that he's doing. I mean, let's think about some of the other farms that we have here. They make a little snack in the kitchen. They make some cider. I mean, they're not catering weddings and having huge dinner parties for the most part. It's a pretty gentle use. We can go back to Twin Orchard that we were on the board for and look at what they do there. It's very simple. They just have beer and pizza. And by the way, they get the liquor license through the ag, and it's a whole different deal than going through the liquor licensing, the New York State Authority. So it's just a whole different kind of animal. And I think that just by covering our asses with the water supply and the health department, it gets us out of it, and he could just go work it out with them and do what he needs to do with Stacy. And I really believe that the right thing will happen if we do that.
Yeah, because the other thing is, by coming in with a simplified site plan application, which I'm sure he was told would be an appropriate approach, the fees are lower than if he has to come back several times and get a lot of. That was one of his issues, was that he got charged.
It's very expensive for a small business owner to keep coming back and keep writing checks. And I mean, personally, I think especially for a self-employed farmer, we really have to try and go out of our way to keep it really reasonable. And this is a way that we can do that.
Okay.
John, I just had a question. If, like, it seems like what we're asked to do is approve a waive simplified site plan or not. And I'm not clear that we can put conditions on that.
Yeah, you have the inherent authority to condition your approvals. So
well, we're not approving, we're waiving the right to
right.
approve.
So this is a waiver of a site plan. So it's still an approval by you. So you still have, and we've done this before, you still have the authority to put a condition on it, that he has to meet these things. Or if you don't feel that it's doable to meet these things, I think the only other option is to make him do an entire site plan.
Yeah. I guess to my fellow board members, I think that we should try the conditioned waiver.
I agree.
Subject to meeting Board of Health requirements for potable water and sewage. And we'll just see if it comes back to bite us. We'll know what to do next time.
Okay.
And Lyle, I think it's pretty common, I mean, to in my experience, to give approvals with conditional approvals that yes, we'll approve it, but you need to do this, that, and this before either you get a building permit or you get your C of O or whatever. So I think you're good.
So we're specifically concerned about water and septic or sewer, but John had suggested it be broader, but he needs to know exactly, if it's too broad, he doesn't know what specifically to go do, right?
Well, I think that's up to him to figure out what he needs to accomplish. Just like he has to figure out if he needs Board of Health approval for a well or not. I think that's up to him, not you guys.
Well, I think he could very easily just call the office, make an appointment, come in and see Stacy, who's terrific. And if there's any zoning, things that she notices, a state law, a local law, anything that seems out of place, I think that Stacy will recommend that he, do what he has to do. And obviously he's not going to get approved unless those needs are met with the zoning.
Yeah, Stacy's not gonna, I actually just texted Stacy to ask, and she won't, give the building permit unless certain things are met. So she will be involved after you guys waive the site plan approval. It's not like she just disappears or anything.
Exactly.
I would suggest putting approval of septic systems and potable water by the Ulster County Department of Health, Ag and Markets, and any other state, local, or county agency as required, or something like that, prior to building permit.
I vote on Andy to make the motion. I'm just kidding.
Alana,
You understand what he said?
did you get it, Alana, what he said?
Yes, I wrote that down.
Okay, so then Matt, you can say, I move to do what Andy said.
Okay, I move to do what Andy said.
Second.
Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we've waived site plan approval for Mercer Farm Stand Edition
With conditions.
with conditions.
Right.
What else do we have on the agenda here?
Town board updates?
Will, David's not here, but you can just make sure no one's here for public comment. I haven't seen anybody and I haven't gotten any emails or anything.
Okay. Is there anyone for public comment? Please call in. Going once, going twice. It appears there's no one here for public comment. I believe I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
No, I have something. I'm sorry, one more.
Oh,
thing.
you have something, Amanda. Okay.
One more thing.
Well,
Alana.
Yeah.
Mid-Hudson Sporting Clay.
Uh-huh.
Did we receive a response from them by the deadline, which I think
Yes.
was Friday? We did?
Yes.
All right.
So I think that'll be on the agenda on the 22nd.
Terrific. Thank you. They went down to the wire.
anything else, anyone?
Nope.
Speak now or
That's it.
hold your peace till the 22nd.
All right.
But don't we have something before then? No, wait, what do we have? No, it's in April. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay. My motion stands to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Night.
Oh, Jennifer, you think they're all this easy, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're all like,